Good evening and welcome back to Capitol Tonight, a statewide look at politics. As you can tell, we're not in studio. We are here in our nation's capital for the start of the 114th Congress, and we are honored to be joined by David Price, a Democrat from the 4th District, and Robert Pittenger, a Republican from the 9th District. Good to see you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. Representative Pittenger, let's start with this. The House Speaker vote today, there was a lot of talk about what would happen. Where do you think Republicans are? Are they cohesive in the House?
I believe they are. I think there was a good expression of interest, some diverse thoughts, but at the end of the day, John Boehner has done a great job. He's led us in a way that has allowed us to reduce our spending by over $2 trillion over a decade. That's important. We need to reduce the size and scope and cost of government and do the things the American people want us to do. And I think John has been a great leader to bring all of our team together.
President Price, you're in a different position here, obviously, and now the Senate's controlled by Republicans as well. How are you feeling as you come back into this new session?
I'm hopeful. One's always hopeful at the start of a new Congress, and we're hearing a lot of talk about how the Republican leadership is determined to show that we can govern, that it's not just going to be a matter of just squaring off against each other and shutting things down and that sort of thing. I fervently hope that's true, because our country needs steady leadership. We're coming, I think, steadily out of this terrible economic downturn that we've had, but we still have a lot of work to do. We need, for example, to invest in infrastructure in this country. That's something we used to agree on across party lines. Maybe we can do that again. I'm on the Appropriations Committee, the committee that funds things. I think that works best when it's cooperative, when we work together and then as an institution look at those executive budgets and scrutinize them and make sure the money is well spent. So there's a lot riding on our being able to cooperate, and so far there's a lot of talk that people would like to do that, and we'll soon see what that might amount to.
Representative Pittenger, Republicans have been, and you as well, been pretty critical of the president, and you do have full control in Congress, but it does take three to tango in this situation. I mean, how do you expect, with there's so much critics against the president, to work with him?
I think there's a lot we can do together in a bipartisan way. The Democrats in the House as well as the Senate, they want to see tax reform. We had tax reform the last time. It couldn't get past the president. He wanted $800 billion more in new revenue. I think there's reasonable people who will come together and do what the American people want. And that's a tax code that's simpler, that makes sense. So we get rid of all these carve-outs for special interest. We lower the tax burden for everybody. That'll help our economy. That'll create jobs. We can have reform in terms of energy. We have the greatest energy resources in the world. We can export these resources. We can help our national security. We can create jobs. There's a lot we can do. We have job training programs we passed in the House. Those are bipartisan bills. They went to the Senate. We're going to have some leadership now. We'll pass those and get them in front of the president. So much can be done, I really believe, in a bipartisan way, that the president can make that decision if he wants to do what the American people really want done.
And one of the things we heard today with the Keystone Pipeline issue, we hear that's going to get through the House this week. The Senate's trying to do as well. And the president threw out a shot today that he would likely veto that situation. Is that helpful to the situation, that before they even take up the issue that he's threatening a veto?
Well, that's become a flashpoint. It's probably, I hope it's not a good test of what we can achieve on some of these fronts that Robert talks about. I think especially corporate tax reform is an area that's very ripe for cooperation and where there is a good deal of agreement about what the principles might be going forward. Keystone Pipeline, I think you could imagine that being a consensual decision down the road, but to ram it through, to bypass the processes of review, to make it a political thing. I mean, that's really the way it's been presented. I think it will be probably a big partisan difference on that one, and the president may well veto it. I don't think, though, that's an adequate test for a whole range of things that we might find more ability to cooperate on.
All right, gentlemen, we're unfortunately out of time tonight, but there will be a lot of time to talk in the future, no doubt about that. Robert Pittenger, David Price, good luck in this session. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, that's it for Capitol Tonight here on